My name's Sean Fabian, and I read the book called Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. And it's basically about this guy named John, who he wants you to call him Jonah. He decides he's going to write a book on what Americans were doing the day the atomic bomb hit Hiroshima. But little does he know that researching the book leads him to meet people to discover the religion called Bookinism, and basically bring about the end of the world. But before all that, he has a book to research. He starts by selling up a letter correspondence with Newt Honecker, I think that's how you pronounce his name, son of Felix Honecker, one of the fathers of the nuclear bomb. He then travels to Ilium to meet Dr. Breed, Asa Breed, which is Honecker's former boss. He doesn't make very much headway in the Book of Ilium, but John is able to talk with Dr. Breed about a substance called Ice-9. It's a fun material that Dr. Honecker thought up as a potential to destroy the world a few times over by just basically freezing all the water on the earth. And after this trip, John forgets about the book until he's sent on an assignment to a place called San Lorenzo. And in San Lorenzo, he's there to interview a doctor named Julian Castle. And then while he is there in San Lorenzo, he just meets a guy, husband and wife named Mr. Crosby and Miss Crosby, a family called the Mintons, and the Honecker children. And there he's also introduced to Bookinism for the first time. And also at San Lorenzo, John learns that the island's current dictator, Papa Manzano, interesting name, is dying of cancer. And Frank Honecker, which is Felix Honecker's middle child, is his successor. But Frank offers the job of president of San Lorenzo to John instead. Why? I guess because Frank accepts the job. Because Frank doesn't want the job. So might as well go to someone. But he accepts the job, kinda, to help the poor people of San Lorenzo, but mostly so he can marry the beautiful Mona Manzano. And once the succession is secure, Papa Lorenzo kills himself by consuming the weird thing called Ice-9. Basically freezes himself. And then John forces the Honecker children to confess that their father created the substance, actually. What else after that? Oh, yeah, and then John and the Honeckers attempted to clean up the Ice-9 mess just to cover up its existence. But a freak accident during a flight demonstration destroys the castle in San Lorenzo. And then what happens next is an instant ice age spreading the entire globe. Initially, John and Mona stay at the Manzanos' house to escape the Ice-9 apocalypse. But after Mona commits suicide, John shacks up with Newt, Frank, and the Crosbys. while deciding what to do exactly, um, and to do what to do with his life. Now that the world is basically ended, John meets up with um, Buchanan, like Buchanan, the guy who created Buchanism, however you pronounce it. And he suggests someone should write a book on the history of human stupidity. And that's pretty much how Cat's Cradle was made. And finally, just a short review of the book. I think Kurt Vonnegut does a good job of integrating just really dry and subtle humor, which makes it fairly funny and more enjoyable. And also, it's written in a sense where it's just a series of statements written one after the other, with really short points of interest, which makes the book what it is. And also, sentences are very short and to the point. Paragraphs are short, and the pages are really short. Some are only even a page, which makes it a quick read and it was nice. This is one of the reasons why I chose it, because it was a smaller book. But Kurt Vonnegut does a good job just packaging the whole story together in a series of events that we follow and are told to us as they happen throughout the book. But despite being just a series of events, I think it's put in a way that only Kurt Vonnegut can do it, because that's just his writing style, it seems like. This is the first book I read by him. I've heard him before, and I've also heard the book called Cat's Cradle before, and my sisters read it, so that's the reasons why I read it. It's a pretty good read.